You.
Good morning, everyone. I'm super excited to moderate this panel. And we only have 35 minutes, so followed by 15 minutes Q&A. And you can scan the QR to be able to ask questions to our amazing panelists. So I'm so glad, I'm so happy to be here. And today, the panel is called Driving Inclusive Growth in ASEAN Grassroots Economy. And we will discuss about grassroots entrepreneurship landscape end to end. We will talk about why is it important, how we can empower this community, and also how public-private partnership can drive growth. So first, let's go to Taufan. How are you, Taufan?
Baik sekali. I'm very good today. Very excited with this event. We have many friends and partners coming all the way to this event, and yeah, hope you guys really going to enjoy the sessions, the event for the rest of the day.
So Taufan was my peer at the special advisor to the president. So we talk a lot about small, medium enterprise as well. And you're the pioneer of grassroots entrepreneurship since 2010. So congratulations on Amartha. From inception, you have now 10,000 employees, serving over 2 million women-led SMEs in over 60,000 villages across Indonesia. Can you guys give applause to Amartha and Taufan? So, Taufan, let's start with a very basic question. What is grassroots economy and why is it so important for our nation?
Okay, I think what makes this terms is I see it as a very aspiring and also I see this segment is very optimist because we talk about grassroots, we talk about the real characters of most of Indonesians. When we are comfortable here, live in Jakarta metropolitan city, but the rest of Indonesia outside Java and mostly comprised of the those who works in grassroots levels, those who works on a day-to-day basis, on a MSMEs basis, aquacultures, agricultures, and that's the heart of our business here in Amartha, how we can empower these communities, those who live in the bottom of the pyramids, accelerates their income so they can increase their financial well-being. If we make it more specific on the grassroots economy, I think what kind of persona characters of this segment, I think what characters of this segment is in Indonesia especially is also similar with the characters of grassroots economy in the rest of emerging ASEAN. If we talk about Bangkok, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Myanmar, the significant population, significant economy driven by the MSMEs sectors and these women SMEs, smallholder farmers. I think it's have a lot of potentials. We have significant populations in the sectors. Have a lot of potentials, and I think the opportunities for us to unleash this opportunity is now. If we can be more confident with the sectors, if we want to collaborate further, we can really take these sectors to the next level. I think that's the confidence that I have with these segments. Thank you.
And thank you. In Indonesia, we have more than 65 million small medium enterprise, which is crazy, and more than 64% is women-led. And Taufan, you talk about so how this experience can be adapted for a broader application across ASEAN.
Okay, if we talk about these segments, Amartha, we've been serving the segments for the last 14 years. We start very humble in the beginning. We learn that the most of the challenge for these sectors is really about access to financials, access to working capital. They already know what they are doing, they know what they are building, but the challenge is cash flow, how they can have a sustained cash flow so they can continue run their business. And then throughout the years, we try to continue to innovate how we can serve them better. Our challenge also at that time is about how we can convince most of the lenders out there, banks, financial institutions, So they have confidence that, oh, if I lend money to the sectors, they, they are high credit-worthy borrowers, they can repay the loans with quality. And then that's why we built the business as a peer-to-peer lending platform. We built a marketplace, so we connect individuals. Now we connect multiple institutions from local, and we build cross-border transactions as well for foreign institutions, so they can access directly the hearts of these SME sectors. And then now we learn that these sectors also need multiple interventions. I think more access to finance is one thing, but how we can really uplift the quality of the services so we can serve them sustainably. We now, Amartha, learn that if we want to better serve the segments, I think it's not only about lending, but also how we can give them better access to funding, how we can increase their income, provide more affordable place for, and secure place for micro savings, deposit their money, how they can have more better experience or payment transaction, so they can have more efficient transactions across these traditional businesses, how we can improve their scoring. So beyond Amartha, they can have multiple access to credit limits, and they can have the quality access to working capital eventually. And it needs efforts and collaborations with multi-stakeholders, multi-parties, and that's why I think we have here with Michael here, we partner up with ASEAN just early this year. We already have relationship with ASEAN for some times. We learn from the experience of ASEAN serving this microfinance segments, grassroots segments throughout the world, and how we can bring best of each countries to Indonesia so we can really accelerate our impact to these grassroots sectors.
So Taufan, as you said, partnerships are crucial for a long-term success. How can Amartha collaborate more effectively with other stakeholders, such as NGOs, government, and other sectors?
I think this is one of the events that we try to amplify the message for all of us here. So we, many of us working in these sectors, in these grassroots sectors for many years. Some have already, some just started invest their activities, their times to the sectors, their resource. I think if we do more collaborations, if we do spend times to really want to solve the real root cause, and because the real root cause is not an easy one to solve, and it takes multi parties to work together hand in hand. And yeah, hopefully through this kind of event we can stimulate engaging discussions to really solving our challenge ahead in these sectors about how we can scaling up our impact, how we can digitizing these MSME sectors, how we can driving inclusive growth throughout the emerging markets in ASEAN.
Thank you. Talking about empowerment, Michael Slein, you've empowered many SMEs through ASEAN. As we know, grassroots entrepreneurs often lack the necessary digital skills to fully participate in the digital economy. What specific strategies can be implemented by organizations like ASEAN to bridge this digital divide and equip grassroots entrepreneurs with the necessary digital literacy that they need?
So first of all, I am delighted to be here and to join Taufan and you on this panel, and specifically talking about how we can use technology to reach the grassroots. Yes. I'm Michael Slein, I'm the CEO of ASEAN. It's a global nonprofit dedicated to creating a fair and inclusive economy, which is one that works for everyone. Today, we take for granted that we have credit cards and debit cards and ATMs, and you can get insurance for your health and your home. But for 2 billion people, they lack all of those tools, and their lives are much, much harder. And we have the technology to change that, and that is what our mission is. We've worked all around the world, and I've got a couple of slides that I want to show. But let me just take 1 second and take a step back and say, why should you care about financial inclusion? A typical person living in poverty is a smallholder farmer, and she gets paid once or twice a year at the time of the harvest, and yet she has to make that money work for the entire year, but she lacks a safe place to save. She may be subject to droughts and floods, but she cannot get insurance. She may have to spend hours going to make a single payment in cash because she doesn't have fast and easy digital payments. And she lives in a cash world, so she's not developing any sort of credit history at all. All of those tools we have at our disposal, and we can make her life faster, easier, better, and help her to build credit and build a financial history that allow her to digitally participate in the global economy. That is our mission, and we have partners like Amartha all around the world. Today, ASEAN is one of the leaders in the world in early stage investing in fintech companies that are leveraging new technologies to reach those 2 billion people. So we work all around the world, and we're seeing extraordinary innovation. Just for example, these are all seed investments using new technologies to reach those 2 billion people. In the middle of the page is a company called Pula that is using global satellite data to ensure smallholder farmers. Literally with satellite data, they can see when there's a drought, they can see when there's a flood, and they can provide agronomic advice and ensure very small 1-acre farms. Another example on the page, Field Intelligence. They're based in Kenya and now in Nigeria. They're using artificial intelligence to advise mom and pop pharmacies on what to put on their shelves, and then they deliver those medications. They're the fastest growing medical supply chain in Africa. So we're seeing extraordinary innovation. In addition, that's at the seed level. We also invest at the Series A and Series B level, and so much larger investments in much larger companies, but the same thesis, harnessing fintech to create a financially inclusive world. And so between these two portfolios, we see amazing, amazing innovation, and it's working. We have 7 unicorns between the two portfolios, and we have a very high success rate because this is a moment where we are leveraging new technologies. In addition to the fintech portfolio, we continue to work with and invest in and support banks and microfinance institutions all around the world, all that are trying to digitally transform. And so just earlier this week, we announced the creation of the world's first digital transformation fund, a fund dedicated to investing in and supporting the digital transformation of those existing institutions. We've already made 2 investments, but over time you'll see us make a dozen investments to support the digital transformation of those existing institutions. And we have a team of about 60 consultants who work all around the world, leveraging knowledge we learned in one place to help others in other places, all to leverage that new technology to allow institutions to become faster and better and cheaper and safer in reaching the people who are left out. And then just so you have the whole picture, we also have one of the leading think tanks in the field, the Center for Financial Inclusion, that does a steady stream of research all around on climate issues and gender and data and consumer protection to make sure that we're using that technology in a responsible way. So I will stop there and go back to the conversation. That's what we're trying to do all around the world, and we get to work with partners like Taufin and Amartha around the world.
Thank you so much. I'm curious from your perspective, how do you see the small, medium enterprise here in Indonesia, and what's the opportunity here specifically in Indonesia?
So 7 out of 10 jobs throughout the emerging markets are micro and small merchants. And literally 65 million of those micro and small merchants are here in Indonesia. That means 97% of the workforce. That is what Indonesia is, and that's nearly 2/3 of the GDP here. And banks have never served that sector very well. Yeah. Banks like to lend to people that have already repaid
Correct.
loans, which is almost the definition of exclusion.
Yes.
we need to leverage new ways to reach people who have just been left out before. And a lot of that is digital and data, because all of a sudden, if you can digitize these transactions, you can see exactly what these small mom and pop shops are producing in revenues and expenses, and then all of a sudden you can lend to them, because we're essentially making invisible micro merchants visible, and that is how we can reach them.
Which leads to my next question. How can financial institutions and policymakers work together to create innovative financial products and services that cater to the specific need of grassroots entrepreneurs?
So this is an incredible moment.
Yeah.
Just a few years ago, it used to be that when you were talking about reaching small micro merchants in rural areas, it used to be the distances were insurmountable. Today, there's no such thing. It used to be that the transaction sizes were too small to be commercially viable. Today, there's no such thing. It used to be very, very difficult to know your client from a remote location, but now with data and data analytics, we can know what our clients need.
True.
And so there's really a dramatic revolution that's going on. Yeah. And I do think that there's many things that governments can do to help use that data analytics and help innovators like Taufin to leverage that knowledge to reach people we've never been. That is how we're going to reach those 2 billion people. We're also harnessing the capital markets. We're trying to show through all of our work that you can have a huge social impact and also attractive financial returns.
True.
And we're trying to get the capital markets to see this as a market opportunity.
Yeah. So beyond financial metrics, how can we effectively measure the impact of initiatives like ASEAN on fostering inclusive growth and empowering communities within the Asian region?
So everything that we do, all of those slides I showed you, every single one of them has a social impact thesis. Yeah. And key indicators that we track to make sure that our work and our investments are on track. We have a framework that focuses on reach, quality, and catalytic change. And so we track the impact of everything that we do. This is a big moment. Let me take one step back.
Sure.
In our lifetimes, we have seen the most dramatic reduction in poverty ever in human history. Literally over the last several decades, we've seen hundreds of millions of people escape from poverty. Until now, just in the last few years, all of a sudden that decline in poverty is now going in the wrong direction for the first time in any of our lifetimes. It started with the pandemic, but now it's worsening with climate change and inflation. And we're seeing more and more, we're seeing tens of millions of people fall back into poverty for the first time. Now, at the same time, you're also seeing digital innovation and digital access. And so all of a sudden our phones are ubiquitous and we can use that to solve those problems. So I see this as a very, very important moment where the problems we're trying to solve are worse than ever and going in the wrong direction. But the tools that we have to solve them are more impactful than ever before. So organizations like ours and many in the room today, we need to seize this moment, and government leaders need to seize this moment to use all this technology to really build a much more inclusive world. That's what we're trying to do.
Great. Taufan, talking about impact, what's the bigger plan for Amartha to be more impactful, not only in Indonesia, but also ASEAN?
Definitely, we still very excited with these sectors, Indonesian segments. We just started to reach 2 million borrowers just early this year. And this coming years, I think we talk about the market size of the sectors. We have tens millions MSMEs in the sectors. And I think it's definitely we want to continue to grow in terms of quantity, how we can reach the next 5 million, 10 million customers, reaching them, serving them better. But beyond quantity metric, I think it's also quality is very important. If we talk about serving the sectors, if we want to serve them sustainably, once we reach that certain level, once we reach like now, what we are doing now, how we can continue to sustain our services is it's about the quality metrics on managing the portfolio, so we can continue to maintain trust from our stakeholders, from our lenders, how we can continue to have a very good retention from our borrowers, so they can continue to top up with us, continue to use our services, and the way we do achieve this quality metrics is about providing them with multiple services. In Amartha, we have 4 pillars of business: lending, funding, payment, and scoring. And that's where we will focusing on how we can provide multiple services for our partners, for our end user borrowers, and also from our B2B partners. Now we have services beyond home and SMEs. We partner up supply chain model with multi companies serving agriculture sectors, aquacultures, smallholder farmers, and we see that partnering up with them also help to accelerate their growth. How we can, at this era where equity is very expensive, I think one of the alternative is you can grow with debt facility. I mean, you partner up with us, we can help you to grow gradually, build strong fundamentals in your P&L, and then later you can get more equity to scale up your business. I think that's where Amartha play a role to help to elevate these sectors, including many enablers, many startups in these sectors.
What's the biggest challenge operating in these sectors? What's the biggest challenge working with SMEs?
I think we talk about quality, right? I think we are comfortable to serving sector customer base across Indonesia. Amartha now already cover most of the province except Aceh, Maluku, Papua. And what we are currently doing now is about deepening our penetrations, how we can continue to make our customers retain with us. Because once you help to improve their credit quality, their credit worthiness, there is temptations for this user, for these borrowers to have multiple loan providers as well. So how we can really ensure quality with them, and at the same time, it will reflect our portfolio quality, right? Yeah. So how we can continue to gain trust from our partners. Now Amartha, we deploy $80 million loans on a monthly basis, and every month we continue hit new milestones. But the challenge is if we want to increase our loan growth to 200 million on a monthly basis, 250 million and going bigger, how we can attract more trust from multiple financial institutions. And I think it's really about the hard works and focusing on, laser focus on quality. Yeah.
Focus on quality, sure.
If I can, I would say one of the biggest issues that we face in expanding our reach to people who've been left out is earning their trust.
True.
Taufin talked about it, but really think about what that means, especially if you've lived only in a cash world, and then all of a sudden you're just starting to transact digitally. It's scary. It's a little daunting. I'll give you an example. If I told you I was going to pay you your salary in Bitcoin, you'd say, what do I do with it? You'd be a little nervous. You wouldn't, you'd have a lot of questions. Same thing, if I all of a sudden tell you I'm not giving you cash anymore, I'm going to pay you in a digital currency, you'd have a lot of questions.
True.
So I think throughout, especially in the financial system, especially when we're reaching rural areas, smallholder farmers, we have to really work on earning their trust every single day.
So Michael, how to earn their trust?
It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of hand-holding. I think it's just like all of us when we got these phones in our pockets. You take a small step. You do a small transaction and you see, oh wow, this works. And then it just takes a little time and hand-holding. In our world, we're a big investor in leveraging technology because that is how we're going to reach all these. But you have to also balance that with touch and recognize that you have to bring our clients along, and they may not be as comfortable. And it's also very generational, so younger people are much more willing to use technology. True. Urban centers are more willing to use technology. But the people we're trying to reach, we have to hold their hand and really bring them along a path.
That's why you have your team on the ini kan lapangan kan Van untuk membuat SMEs ini jadi mau masuk ke digital dan segala macamnya.
Yeah, and I think to add what Michael was saying is physical infrastructure is definitely a challenge. Like in outside Java compared to Java, the digital infrastructure is not yet spreaded, but it's getting there. But how we can really optimize, maximize on what we have right now? I think yes, it takes process. It takes time. I think we've been serving the sectors for the last 14 years. We try multiple attempts how to digitize the sectors. I think it's continue about, you have to continue commit and dedicate your time, your focus to really find the best way, the best solutions, and like for learning from other players across the globes, how we can gain best practices and really understands how we can copy to the hyperlocal case in Indonesia. I think what we see the trend right now, beyond what we are building in Amartha, other players in the sectors, I think we're getting there. I think the enthusiasms, we see many commitment from entrepreneurs, try to solve the sectors, try to uplift this people at this bottom of the pyramid. It's there. So I think I'm quite confident.
That's a good news.
On the next coming years,
hopefully
we can really see these sectors elevate.
Great. Okay, now I think it's your turn to ask questions. I think the team they curated a couple of questions from the audience. Okay, before we wait for the questions from the audience, Taufan, I just want to ask, what's the goal for Asia Grassroots Forum? What's the goal for Asia Grassroots Forum?
What's the goal for this event?
What's the goal for this event?
First, it's stimulate optimism and confidence about the sectors. Many stakeholders out there, including like actions, come all the way here because of the confidence on the sectors and how we can really scaling our impact together as stakeholders in the sectors. And once we can stimulate, hopefully we can continue the ball running, continue the momentum, and for the next coming years we partner up with multiple stakeholders, gain more insights, and through this event we have not only engaging discussions with the rest of the panelists, but also have the real experience. And then tomorrow some of you will have field trip experience as well. So, and I think we have highly curated most of the delegates, participants in this event. So, hope you guys will have fruitful conversations among each of us here.
Great, very excited. Okay, Taufan, here's a question for you from the audience. How will Amartha address the grassroots market with its diverse readiness level that comes with different challenges?
So what we do in Amartha, I think business lending is still the pillar of and the focus of the business. Beyond what we are doing in lending, we also have our foundations, we call it Amartha.org. So this focus also on help us better understand, and we do more research, we do more research on this we focus on two: financial literacy and digital literacy. What's the best way to build products that's relevant for these segments, and this help us continue to find ways how we can serve this segment better. I think that this and then the research on what we are doing also, it's published online. Everyone can access the report on Amartha websites, and if you guys are already on board to the app, Asia Grassroots Forum app, you can also follow the research there, the insights and analysis about these grassroots sectors.
Great, thank you, Taufan. Next question from the audience for Mr. Michael Slein. The grassroots Southeast Asia market is potential. How do you see Indonesia's positions as compared to other Southeast Asian nations, grassroots segment, and how will this affect Indonesia's macroeconomics competitiveness? Ooh.
So we actually are very, very excited about Indonesia and Indonesia's potential.
Yeah.
And it goes to exactly the theme of this conference and also some of the themes we were talking about. It's this technological revolution will allow us to reach the remote islands of Indonesia in ways that previous technologies didn't allow us to do. So we're seeing very exciting innovation, obviously Amartha, but also there are several companies that are here today, including SEMA, which is using, the agriculture market is very fragmented, and what a smallholder farmer, when she has to buy her input, she has to buy it from a lot of different sources. Well, imagine if you could buy them all off of your app, all much more efficiently. That's exactly what SEMA is doing. Or another company also here, MyRobin, which is helping gig workers find jobs with bigger corporations and help corporations find their gig workers, and then also bringing transparency and bringing financial services to those gig workers. So they're solving many, many problems. A third one is Fairbank, also based here and also I think attending this conference. Fairbank is embedding finance with big consumer goods companies, so the Unilevers and the Coca-Colas of the world are delivering soap and beverages to these small mom and pop shops. And what Fairbank can do is working with them, all of a sudden they can see what those orders are and then they can finance those orders. So we're seeing a lot of innovation here and we're very bullish, and that's part of why I'm eager to come visit as often as I can.
Great. Okay, do we still have questions from the audience? Oh, okay, time's up. Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Michael Slein and Taufan. I think we should do a closing statement from the both of you. Taufan, you can start first. Your closing statement on inclusive growth in Asia grassroots economy.
We still very confident on these sectors. The opportunities, the potential is there. We just started to reach a new milestones in our business. Hopefully, when we can collaborate with more stakeholders, with more parties, we can accelerate our impact. So together with many players focusing on MSME sectors, we can really upgrade the sectors and scaling our impact, and how we can see more MSMEs, digital, more growth of the economy, not only concentrate in Java, but outside Java as well.
Michael?
I think we need to seize this moment. This moment where all of a sudden we have all these new digital tools, but also the need, we're seeing poverty on the rise, but there's a moment and it is spectacular innovation. And the question is, can we, and it's really the people in this room, can we take advantage of that and really create a fair and inclusive economy that really truly works for everyone? And I just want to end on that note. Imagine that world where 2 billion people are gainfully employed and can put a little bit more food on the table and can educate their children and can have a little bit access to better health care, the quality of their lives and their contribution to the global economy, it truly would be a different world if those 2 billion people were included. I think we can achieve that in our lifetimes.
Great, what a great discussion. Please give applause to Michael and Taufan. So as we know, originally the MSMEs contribute 85% to employment and 44.8% to GDP of ASEAN. In Indonesia itself, there are more than 65 million SMEs, and women play a very important role. So let's support the grassroots economy hand in hand to drive innovations and foster inclusive growth. I'm Putri Tanjung. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Another round.